Hi. So you're probably wondering, where the hell has PC been? Um, where was the last episode of the We Hate Sports podcast? Where has We Hate More Sports been? Where was the latest WHS Locks and Shocks video for week 7? Where was that last week? Um, and I'm not gonna stretch this video out because this is the video for Locks and Shocks for week 8. So short answer, life happened. Um, it's not anything bad. As a matter of fact, it's actually really good. For myself especially, as TK mentioned in the latest episode of the Way It's Sports podcast, which by the way was posted, and you should go and definitely check it out, episode 145. I recently got a new full time position, a new full time job, and they did put me on overnight shift. Um, and because of that, I won't be able to be in the recordings for the audio episodes, at least for the foreseeable future, until I can get my schedule change, and my days off change as well. And so, with that, it's nothing is going to change. You're still going to get a video like this for Locks and Shocks every single week. You're still going to get the same audio episodes every single week. All right, but the only thing that's going to change is that I'm not going to be a part of the actual recording. But that's okay because I'm not the only face or voice that you hear every single week. It's time that y'all really got to realize just how talented everybody else on the podcast is, and that's really always been my ultimate goal. I've always wanted to put the spotlight on everybody else. So, um, yeah. With that being said, I'm excited for all the changes that are currently happening in my life. But yes, there are a lot of changes. Um, but they're good ones. They're good ones. And, I know we missed last week's video for Locks and Shocks week 7. And I guess we can officially call that our bye week. It wasn't voluntary. All right, it's just been a hectic past 2 weeks, and we just weren't able to get that video out. And life happens, so I just hope each and every single one of you understand that. Um, with that being said, let me get into my locks and shocks for week 8 this week. Starting with my first lock, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings with Green Bay Packers. Hey, to the Vikings, I gotta give them credit. All right, they came in Monday Night Football this past week, and in a lot of people's eyes, they just beat the best team in the league in the Niners. All right, made Brock Purdy throw two key interceptions in that game in the fourth quarter. You know, this team is might be finding its stride. It may be finding its stride. Kirk Cousins, he's the guy that always plays horrible in prime time. He was actually great Monday night. Jordan Addison stepped up as wide receiver one, and without their best player and the best wide receiver in the league, in Justin Jefferson, they were able to win. They were able to win. So for the Vikings, you gotta keep riding this wave of momentum. I mean, it's not even a you should. It's more of a must, because their division is still relatively wide open. It's really between them and Detroit on who's actually going to win it. But in terms of you know who has a chance to really take control of the division, it's them and Detroit. Um, but they have to take care of business in the division, and that starts by being the Packers, who I don't know. The Packers are just they're kind of there, and I think a lot of people should have expected that. Um, I think a lot of people before the season started were thought they were going to be terrible. The Packers aren't terrible, but they are just kind of in the middle right now, and that's where they should be. That's where they should be. But I think Minnesota keeps on carrying on this momentum, and I think that they pick up victory. So that's my first lock of the week. My second lock is the Chiefs over the Broncos. I mean, I don't think I need to say anything else more. It's been a minute since the Broncos have beaten the Chiefs. Last time it happened was back in 2015. I was 15 at the time. I'm now 23 years old. It has been eight years since the Broncos last beat the Chiefs, and that is hilarious. All right, that's my second lock in the league. And for my shock of the week, I am going to go with the Steelers over the Jaguars. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute. Jaguars, they're surging right now. They're going four in a row. All right, they're doing great. The problem is that the Steelers, I think, are also finding their stride. This game is in Pittsburgh. This defense is legit, and Trevor Lawrence, who thought would have an MVP type season this year, he just hasn't looked like himself. He hasn't looked like the quarterback that I thought he'd be. I do think that this game is going to be close. I think it's going to come down to like a field goal, and I think that it's going to see the Steelers once again pull out a close victory. Give me 23-20. Steelers win. I believe it'd be their third straight victory in a row. So that's my shock of the week.
For my first lock of the week, I'm gonna go with the Ravens over the Cardinals. The Ravens are, I think, are the best team in the AFC, in my opinion. You can debate with other teams and everything, but the Cardinals, after they played pretty competitive the first couple weeks, have been falling back to earth basically. And I think the Ravens are just going to destroy them. It's not going to be a close game at all. For my second lock of the game is going to be the Lions over the Raiders. I think the Lions are going to come back and they're going to beat the Raiders. I think last week with that horrible loss to the Ravens, I think they're going to bounce back pretty well at home against the Raiders. And for my upset of the week, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals over the San Francisco 49ers. This game is in San Francisco. The Niners are 6-point favorites at home. And I think Cincinnati can get a close win at the end in overtime against the Niners.
Well, Gianni stole one of my picks. I'm picking the Ravens again over the Cardinals. Even though I'm hearing that Kyler Murray might be back, he's going to be rusty. So our defense is top five. Offense is clicking. We saw flashes of what our offense would be like, could be like um, yesterday. So I'm picking the Ravens over the Cardinals. For my second lock, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Denver Broncos. The last time the Broncos beat the Chiefs was in 2015. 2015. 2015, bro. That was the last time the Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. Other than the Chiefs has beaten them 18 straight times. I mean, it's funny to me. That's I could never imagine losing to the same team 18 times in a row. But that's just me. TK, I mean, that's funny to me. I'm sorry. I can't. I feel so bad for you. But I'm going with the Chiefs over the Broncos. And my upset of the week, I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks over the Cleveland Browns because I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to go into Seattle and defeat the quote unquote number one rated defense, Cleveland Browns, the same Browns that allowed Gardner Minshew to drop 34 on their heads. I'm telling you, I'm going with the Seahawks over the Browns.
For my first lock is going to be the Texans over the Panthers, 27-21. It may be, honestly, this could either be a blowout or this could either be a really close game. In my favor, I'm hoping that the Panthers win because it kind of, brings my Broncos up in the draft pick. We have a chance at getting Caleb. But I don't expect the Panthers to win this game at all. They just have way too many problems. The defense isn't good. The coaching staff I actually really like. I think is really underrated. But they have no offensive line. They have no weapons on the outside for Bryce. He's just back there getting sacked and hurt. It seems like he's getting sacked every single play that just gets stepped back to pass the football. So they're really going to need to work that out. But unfortunately for them, it's not going to be able to be done this year. They don't have their draft pick this year. So I honestly I don't know Gianni and Tolu. I don't know what they're going to do this year as far as getting weapons for Bryce Young because they don't have a pick until the second round of next year's draft, and guys aren't breaking their necks trying to go play for the Panthers. So yeah. So my number two lock is going to be the Chiefs over the Broncos, 31-23. The score might actually sound crazy. A lot of people probably expected me to be a blowout, but Gianni and Tolu, you guys see the game. For some reason, every time we play the Chiefs, it's always a close game for some reason. We always lose. Granted, we always lose every time, but it's always a close game for some reason. I don't know why. I don't think we've ever lost. I don't think we've ever lost to the Chiefs by double digits since in the Patrick Mahomes era. And if we have, it's been a very, very long time since it happened. But relatively, these games are always close. I expect it to be another close game. But I do believe this game is in Arrowhead. We have absolutely no shot, even if it was in Mile High. This game is just we just have absolutely no chance against Patrick Mahomes. And we saw what the Chiefs looked like yesterday. They're starting to look like what we expected Patrick Mahomes to look like every single year. The defense is still top five. They're extremely stout. Patrick Mahomes' offensive line is protecting him. His weapons on the outside. That kid Rashee Rice, bro. That kid is really, really good. Like keep. If you don't know who Rashee Rice is, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out for that kid. That kid's gonna be special. And then finally for my shock of the week, how about this, Gianni and Tolu? How about the Rams over the Cowboys? 35-31. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Rams defense is very, very underrated. I think it's a top 20 defense, which may not, shock a lot of people, but I think that's very, very good for a Rams team that has absolutely no weapons on defense. Besides that, we all know what the story of Puka and Cooper Cup on the outside. Those two possibly you're talking about a duo tandem in the NFL that's up there with the likes of T Higgins and the Jamar Chase and the AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I understand this is Paku's first year, but that kid is good. He's really, really good. I understand that Kyrie Williams is out, but I really like what they did with Darrell Henderson in the backfield yesterday. Got them a touchdown, got 100 scrimmage yards. I think he's going to be good. And this is a guy that you bring back onto the team that's very, very familiar with the offense and Sean McVay's scheme. But look, I really think that this is. I understand that the Cowboys defense is really, really elite, but I think it's going to be one of those high-scoring games. I think it's going to go back and forth. These are two very, very good offenses. I think it'll end up going back and forth. And I think. But I think, at the end of the day, the Rams are going to end up getting upset there. And Cowboys fans, nothing to freak out about. I think Cowboys end up still getting into the playoffs and whatnot. But I think this is going to be one of those games that Cowboys expect to win that they're not going to be able to win.
For my first stock of the week, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens over the Arizona Cardinals. I just feel as though Baltimore's offense have been clicking so much these past couple of weeks. Zay Flowers is showing that he's a stud, and Lamar Jackson is even playing like he is a top 5, and some would even say top 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. And honestly, I'm not mad at it. For my second lock of the week, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins over the New England Patriots. Last game, I believe it was close, kept it within a touchdown, 24-17 in New England. But this time, I feel like it will ultimately be the same outcome, the Patriots not being able to keep up with the Dolphins' offense. So, yeah, give me the Dolphins over the Pats. And for my shock of the week, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just feel like this week, Jacksonville is pretty banged up on their O-line. And also, Trevor Lawrence is still dealing with his knee. And also, Zay Jones is having issues with his knee as well. And Kenny Pickett is showing that he's not as bad as we thought. So, yeah, give me Pittsburgh over Jacksonville.
If you made it to the end of this video, you get to listen to the King Toluwani Akintunde. Well, make sure to leave a like and, of course, subscribe to the We Hate Sports YouTube channel. And don't forget to check out audio EPs in the description below.